Okay, let's unpack this core idea that getting rich has, well, a lot less to do with how smart you are and everything to do with how you think.
Right.
We're diving deep into the source material from T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Because frankly, most of us, and I mean most of us, are unknowingly programmed to think like poor people.
Hmm.
We've inherited this financial blueprint that just keeps us stuck, regardless of our intelligence or how hard we work.
It's so true. And what's fascinating here is that Eker lays out these distinctions not as some abstract theory, but as 17 specific ways rich people think and act differently.
Exactly.
We aren't here just to list them, though.
Sure.
Our mission today is to figure out how you can consciously shift that inherited programming to move toward a mindset that actually supports creating wealth.
So we're going to start with the foundation, the practical stuff, the things you can measure and change like right away.
Mhm.
And it begins with something surprisingly basic. Just managing your money well. Rich people do it, poor people don't.
And this is where the sources use a perfect, really easy-to-grasp analogy: the ice cream cone.
Ah, yes.
Imagine a kid who drops a single scoop of ice cream. You're not going to just hand in 3 more scoops, right?
No, of course not.
Wealth works the same way. Until you can prove you can handle the money you have right now, no matter how small the amount, the universe isn't going to give you more. It's about the habit of control.
And the practical way to install this habit is what Oka calls the 6-account division. Every dollar you earn gets split 6 ways.
Right.
So you have 50% for your necessities, your expense account, 10% for long-term savings, 10% for education to get smarter, 10% for giving, and crucially, 10% for financial freedom.
Which is investment only. You never, ever spend that.
Never. But the account that often triggers the most resistance, the one we need to talk about, is that final 10%.
The play account.
The play account. It sounds totally counterintuitive, doesn't it? If the goal is discipline, why am I forced to go spend 10% on something extravagant?
That's the deep psychology of it. It's not about rewarding bad habits. It's a psychological safety valve.
A safety valve.
Look, if you just save and invest and restrict yourself constantly, your responsible adult side feels great, but your inner fun-seeking side feels starved.
Right, it gets resentful.
And eventually, that starved part will sabotage everything. It'll manifest as a huge, stress-induced splurge, a vacation you can't afford, a new car, something to break the tension.
So the play account is the pre-approved outlet for that impulse.
Exactly. It's money you must spend every single month purely to feel good and feel rich. A fancy dinner, a night in a nice hotel.
Something you wouldn't normally do.
Yes, it strengthens your receiving muscle, it shows your subconscious that money brings joy, and it prevents that internal sabotage. Keeps the whole system in balance.
I see the genius in that. It connects discipline with actual enjoyment. Okay, so moving from that immediate habit to the long-term strategy, the focus shifts completely. Rich people focus on net worth. Poor people focus on their working income.
And the problem with just focusing on your salary is that it's only half the story. I mean, if you earn $300,000 a year, but you spend $300,000 a year, you're broke.
You have zero stability.
Exactly. Net worth is the real measure.
Yeah.
It's what's left if you sold everything you own and paid off every single debt. That number is what you actually keep.
And the actionable step here is so simple, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
Track it. Even if your net worth is negative right now, you write it down and update it every month.
Because what you track, you improve. It's a universal law. You can't steer a ship if you don't know where it is.
Right. And that focus changes your behavior. When you focus on net worth, you start to see the huge difference between assets and liabilities.
Yes. Rich people buy assets.
Yes.
Things that put money in their pocket, like rental properties, investments. Poor people buy liabilities, things that take money out of their pocket. The new car, the gadgets.
Which leads directly to the core idea of freedom, making your money work hard for you.
We're all told to work hard for money. But that alone is a trap. The rich work hard, sure, but then they pivot.
They make that money work for them. Through passive income, there was a great story about a woman in one of Harv's seminars.
Oh yeah, the one who redefined her whole approach to housing.
Exactly. She was going to buy a big personal house, but instead she invested that money in a rental property first.
And the income from that rent, after paying the mortgage, was enough to cover her living expenses, especially since she simplified her life and I think she moved to a tropical island or something.
Yeah, some cheaper place. But the power of that story isn't the real estate, it's the goal shift. She prioritized freeing her time.
That's the key. She only works 6 months a year now, by choice.
So this just recalibrates what a rich goal even is. Instead of some huge abstract number, you calculate the specific amount of passive income you need to cover your lifestyle.
Whether that's 2 grand a month or 5 grand a month.
And you focus intensely on building that. It's about earning more, yes, but also spending less at the same time to get to your freedom date way faster.
Okay, so let's move from those practical habits to the mindset of scale, how you approach opportunity.
And the first massive distinction here is thinking big versus thinking small.
Thinking small just limits your scope, your impact, and therefore your income. The source uses Harv's own first fitness store as the example. He aimed for 100 stores.
While his competitor just aimed for one.
Right. So Harv got rich because he was thinking big. The competitor, he made a good living, but he capped his own potential from day one.
And it boils down to what they call the law of income. You'll be paid in direct proportion to the value you provide and the number of people you impact.
Simple as that.
If you're a trainer working with 20 people in a gym, your income is capped. If you create an online course that helps 5,000 people,
Your income potential explodes. The reason people play small is usually fear. Fear of failure or just that nagging feeling that they're not good enough to make a real difference.
and if you're going to think big, you have to be able to talk about it, which leads right to the next big hurdle, promotion.
A tough one for a lot of people. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people often have these really negative feelings about selling.
But how can you possibly make a big income if nobody knows your product or service even exists?
That's the logical disconnect.
Right. Your inner voice tells you it's tacky or egotistical.
The perspective shift here is essential. You have to see promotion as a genuine service. The analogy is just so powerful. The cure for cancer.
Right.
If you had a cure for cancer, would you hide it because you're shy or afraid of being pushy?
Of course not. That would be selfish.
Exactly. Your shyness becomes selfish when you have something valuable that can help someone. You have duty to promote it.
That reframes the whole thing. It makes it ethical. It reminds me of Robert Kiyosaki saying he's a best-selling author, not a best-writing author.
Right.
Promotion matters.
It matters just as much as the quality. And this leads us to another fundamental cognitive difference, which is thinking both.
Ah, yes. Poor people think either. Rich people think both and.
It's such a limiting framework. Are your legs or your eyes more important? It's a silly question.
You need both. But in life, we assume these forced choices. A successful business or an enjoyable life. Money or happiness.
The rich mindset just refuses to accept that scarcity. They don't choose between wealth or family. They ask, how can I have both?
And that one little question, how can I have both, forces your brain to look for creative solutions that the either mindset would never even see.
Absolutely. That abundance mentality really changes how you approach earning money, too.
Which brings us to how you get paid.
Right. Poor people trade time for money as salary. Rich people get paid based on results commissions, profits, percentages.
Trading time for money is the ultimate income ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day. The source has that great story about the PR consultant.
Oh, yeah. She charged $4,000 a month for her time, even if she failed to get the $20,000 in media coverage she promised.
And Harv offered her 50% commission on the results, a potential $10,000 payday.
And she refused. She refused. She valued the guaranteed $4,000 more than the potential of $10,000. It proves she valued safety over her belief in her own results.
So the practical advice here is you don't have to quit your job tomorrow, but start negotiating. Tie at least a piece of your income to your performance, to your results.
If you're confident in your value, you should be confident in your results.
Okay, let's move into the third area, self-mastery. These are the deep internal traits, starting with admiration versus resentment. Rich people admire other rich people. Poor people resent them.
This is one of the toughest psychological shifts to make, because you cannot attract what you resent.
It's impossible.
If you believe deep down that the rich are greedy or dishonest or whatever, your subconscious will put up a massive invisible wall. You'll sabotage yourself because becoming wealthy would mean becoming the thing you hate.
That Jaguar anecdote just brings this to life so vividly.
Oh,
He drove his new black Jaguar through a lower-end neighborhood, and people threw things at him, keyed the car, yelled, "You rich bastard."
but when he drove a cheap rental car through the same area,
Nothing. Nobody bothered him. It's just a physical manifestation of that deep resentment.
the ancient wisdom has the answer. Bless that which you want. When you see a beautiful house or a nice car, you have to stop the judgment and instead wish them well and tell yourself, that's coming my way too.
It flips the switch from resistance to attraction, and if we don't want to be victims of our own programming, we have to embrace Trait 11. Rich people believe I create my life.
And poor people believe life happens to me. Victim mode.
Victim mode has 3 classic tells, right?
Yep. First, there's blame the government, the economy, your boss. Second is justification. Money isn't that important anyway, which is just an excuse for not having it.
And the third and most insidious one.
Complaining. The sources are so clear on this. Complaining literally turns you into a crap magnet. You attract more negativity to justify the complaints.
So the shift is radical. Stop complaining or blaming, even in your own head. Full stop.
And this mindset leads right into how rich people handle challenges. Getting rich is not a walk in the park.
No.
The secret isn't to avoid problems. It's to grow yourself so you're bigger than your problems.
I love the level analogy for this. If you're a level 2 person facing a level 5 problem, like a market crash or a bad business deal, that problem looks huge.
It looks overwhelming, threatening. But if you commit to growing yourself through learning and taking action until you're a level 10 person,
That same level 5 problem looks small. It's just an obstacle to navigate.
your wealth can only grow to the extent that you can handle the problems that come with it. If you aren't growing, your wealth can't either.
And growth takes courage, which is Trait 16. Rich people act in spite of discomfort. Poor people let fear stop them.
Fear never actually goes away. It's about what you do when you feel it. That story about the Seattle seminar attendee.
Oh, the one who wouldn't drive 3 hours to Vancouver for a life-changing event.
Yeah, and Harv just says to him, you're freaking broke. Because if a 3-hour drive can stop you, anything can stop you. That's the definition of being stuck.
The wisdom here is that a true warrior learns to tame the cobra of fear, not kill it or run from it.
Right.
So the action step is just to practice getting out of your comfort zone. Ask for a raise, talk to someone new, you expand it bit by bit.
And all of this, every single trait, is supported by a commitment to growth. Rich people are constantly learning.
While poor people think they already know it all.
There's a really sharp test for this in the sources. If you live it, you know it. If you aren't financially free or fit or happy, it means you still have more to learn, period.
It's shocking to realize we're all walking around with these invisible rules running our lives. Which brings us to the core concept, the money blueprint. This subconscious program explains why lottery winners go broke and why self-made rich people who lose it all can get it back so quickly.
Exactly. The blueprint dictates your thoughts drive your feelings determine your actions, and your actions create your results.
So if we want to install these 17 wealth files, we first have to uninstall the bad programming. And it comes from 3 main sources, starting with modeling what you saw growing up.
Harv's own story is a perfect example. His dad was a home builder, so he saw this cycle of cash tight and angry, then generous and happy when a house sold.
And as an adult, he just unconsciously repeated that same boom and bust cycle for 10 years. The danger is your subconscious learns to either spend money fast before it's gone, or
to hoard it, saving for a rainy day.
a classic example of toxic programming. By the law of intention, if you save for a rainy day, what do you get?
You get rainy days. The simple fix is to reframe it. You save for a joyous day, the day of your financial freedom.
The second source is specific incidents. What emotional trauma you went through around money. The story of the woman who always spent all her savings.
Just heartbreaking. Her father died of a heart attack right after a huge fight with her mother about money.
So her subconscious mind created this link. Money equals pain. Money equals death.
And to protect herself, her mind just got rid of the money as fast as she made it, to feel safe again. You can't detect these things without real self-analysis.
It really shows how deep this stuff goes.
Yeah.
And the third source is verbal programming, what you heard over and over.
The story is Stephen, the guy who made $800,000 a year for 9 years straight but was always broke.
Always lost the excess. Why?
Because he grew up hearing his mother say things like, "Rich people are greedy. You should only have just enough to get by. After that, you're a pig."
And his mind made sure he never became a pig by getting rid of the extra money. He literally couldn't let himself keep more than just enough.
The solution isn't easy, but it's clear.
Yeah.
You have to become aware of these old programs, replace the old story with a new one, and consciously, deliberately install the 17 wealth files we've been talking about.
You know, this whole deep dive has shown that the biggest shifts are the ones underneath the surface. Going from either scarcity to both hand abundance, and shifting your entire focus from what you earn to your net worth and building that passive income.
Absolutely. And if we tie this all back to one final, ultimate differentiator, It's the idea of commitment. Poor people want to be rich. Rich people are committed to being rich.
And the sources are very clear about what that commitment actually looks like. It's intense.
It requires total clarity. Rich people know exactly what they want. Earning $30,000 a month passively, traveling every quarter, ordering at a restaurant without looking at the price, they define it.
And that clarity lets them commit fully. They're willing to work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for a period of time, to sacrifice hobbies and family time because they know it's a short-term price for a long-term goal.
Poor people have mixed internal messages. They say they want wealth, but then they think the sacrifices aren't worth it, which just blocks the commitment needed to even start.
So since commitment is the starting line for everything, managing money, thinking big, acting despite fear, the most provocative thought we can leave you with is this. You have to define your rich goal, clearly.
Not a comfortable goal, not just enough.
No. A truly rich goal, the specific number you want to achieve monthly, and the lifestyle that goes with it. Write it down. The simple, non-negotiable act of defining and committing to a truly rich goal is the only way to begin installing a new blueprint and actually moving your financial future forward.